Hello everyone, I am the Rosie girl and welcome to the Rancho here in Santa Rosa, California. Our beautiful small paradise in the middle of, well, let's just say a lot of urban development, and well, it can be noisy sometimes too. One of the things that you all look forward to every month on the channel is Missy Jen going around and giving you a tour of the Rancho. What's new on the Rancho? Looking at they're just walking through and checking and see what's new and what's happening. But what we've never really had a chance to do before on the channel is to discuss the specific trees that we do grow here, all the different varieties of things like citrus, our beautiful persimmon tree here, which puts out beautiful orange persimmons in November and December. It's a great time to be here from July through November. The harvest comes in fast and furious. But how would you like to know all the varieties of trees that we grow here, the names, and well, we may even throw some pictures up at the end too to show you what the harvested fruit looks like. I'm so excited to have you along. The juices of spring are flowing, and I can tell you the juices are flowing in me. The buds are on the trees. Let's get the tour started. Our first variety here is called the Robertson Navel Orange, and it's my favorite eating orange. The reason being is it's the earliest orange that comes out here on the Rancho. Typically, most oranges are harvested around the month of January and February is when most of the harvest comes in. This particular variety comes in December, and it is so sweet. It's the navel orange. It's the one that has the little belly button on the bottom. That means it's easy to peel and it's easy to eat, and it is so flavorful. The tree is very productive. It produces a lot of fruit. It was our main eating orange tree here for the season because, well, our other trees are still babies. Okay, let's go around and look at some more here. Oh, that sun feels so beautiful today on my skin. It's so good for you to get that vitamin D. This is called a Palestine orange tree, and this is a rather rare variety for Northern California. You can see we had some growth was lost to freezing this winter, but I expect it to bounce back very well. What makes this variety particularly unusual is that it's a Middle Eastern orange that's typically found in markets in the Middle East, say in Jordan and Iraq and Iran. It's a deeper reddish orange than the traditional oranges that you see in the marketplace. We've not had any production yet, but we're certainly looking forward to having our first ones. Our next tree over here, this is called a Kushu mandarin, and what makes this nice is these fruits are tiny in size, but they are incredibly tasty. This is very productive. This particular fruit tree will produce hundreds of those little fruits, and they're like little droplets of gold when you have them. They taste so awesome, and like I say, it'll produce hundreds of them. And we had a little bit of frost damage, as you can see here, but not too bad. Over here we have my favorite, which is the Meyer lemon, and what makes this nice is this is the lemon that I use when I'm baking and doing things in the kitchen, like making lemon meringue pies, making lemon cakes, making lemon cookies. This just tastes fantastic, and it's very productive too. These are very juicy. If you squeeze one of these, ooh, the juices just run out. Twice as much juice as a regular lemon, and I think it's twice as tasty too. Let's swing around here. Pardon the sun. We have what's called the Valencia orange, and this of course is the juice orange. This is the one that's when you're having going to have your breakfast juice In the morning, this is the one that's typically squeezed. Come out and harvest them, take them inside, cut them in half, and juice them, and they are fantastic. Can you imagine being able to wake up in the morning and you come out to your garden and you go to your Valencia orange tree and you pick 2 or 3 of those luscious Valencia oranges and you put them into your juicer and you have fresh squeezed orange juice in the morning? Is that not like the greatest thing in the world to have that? So I'm hoping in a year or 2 that we'll be able to have that experience here on the Rancho. I'm so very excited to have a beautiful juice orange tree. One of the things that we also have here is called a Seville orange tree. Have you ever had orange marmalade? The real true English style. I'm not talking about orange jelly or orange jam. I'm talking about real honest to goodness English style marmalade. It's not cheap, you know why? Because these are the type of trees that you use to produce it. They produce the sour oranges. Even when this orange reaches maturity, there's no sweetness to it whatsoever, but that outside skin has that intense orange flavor that makes that marmalade, that English style marmalade, so very tasty. And see, this one gets the most exposure to the cold, and yes, it did have a bit of frost damage to it. Let's go over and talk about the plum trees and our peaches and cherries over here, okay? Are you enjoying yourself? I like our cactuses too, aren't they cool? Be careful though, they are really prickly. All right. Over here we have our peach tree, and actually, I'm sorry, this is our cherry tree. This is our Bing cherry tree. We used to have a second cherry tree that sat right here, but unfortunately, last spring, it did not come to life. For some strange reason, it passed away. Well, we need to get another one planted if we're going to have any type of cherry production, because cherries are one of those that should have a pollinator with it to have more production. But this is the Bing variety, which is the best variety for eating. It has the firm skin, the juicy inside, and they last a long time too. When you pick them, they don't go bad quickly. This is our peach tree here, and this is a July, what's called an Alberta here, and this is another great one. If you like to have that experience of eating a peach and having those juices run down your mouth, this is the juiciest variety of peach here. You can see all the little buds that are on it. This is ready to go, okay? This is another one of my favorites here, the peach tree, okay? Very excited to have this one. So this will get about 8 to 10 feet tall. Looks really good, huh? The tree. All right, moving right along, we have our pear tree here, and this is a D'Anjou. This is a dwarf variety of what they call the D'Anjou pear. It's not the common Bartlett pear variety. It's a little smaller, and I think that the thing with this tree that makes it great is the intensity of the pear flavor is so much greater in this tree, and I'm expecting really good things from this. Now, you may think it's a little close to the other tree, but actually it's going to grow towards the sun over here, so it'll naturally sort of move that way. We like to maximize our orchard space. Our D'Anjou pear tree. Pears are another thing that's so juicy. Ooh, to eat a great pear. Over here we have our two varieties of plum trees. This is the Santa Rosa plum, and of course we live in the city of Santa Rosa. So this is an especially special tree close to our heart. It was developed by Luther Burbank, and it was really the earliest and probably the best variety of the Japanese plum trees. And you can see we have the little buds on it. And before long, this will be a profusion of beautiful flowers with the most sensuous fragrances here. This is our elephant heart. And the nice thing about the elephant heart is it's a very deep, almost purplish plum. Oh, and it tastes so good and it's so juicy. It's amazing. And judging by the amount of buds we have this year, it's going to be a nice bumper crop, which I'm really looking forward to. They could probably use a little bit of pruning, but we like to let them grow about 2 or 3 years before we do the pruning. If we come over here, we have two more varieties of orange trees to share with you. This is our Trovita orange, and a Trovita is a variety that's like a navel orange. It's good to eat. It's a little sweeter than a navel orange, and it does well in kind of a cooler climate like we have here. These have a reputation of being excellent eating oranges. I'm looking forward to having one of them, I can tell you. Are you getting hungry? I'm getting hungry for an orange. Over here we have our last tree on the tour. This is our standard navel orange tree, the Washington navel orange. It already has a little bit of growth coming out from the season, and this is the typical navel orange that you see in the stores. Great to eat, easy to peel, very juicy, and when it's fully ripe, extremely tasty. I want to thank you so much for being on the tour today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed showing it to you. There's more varieties of fruit trees in the back that I didn't even get to. Our beautiful Gravenstein apple tree, which produces the finest apples for baking and eating and saucing, an incredible variety. Why haven't you heard of it? Because it doesn't really keep that long for shipping. We also have a beautiful fig tree back there, and we've had such great production off of that over the years. It's been amazing. There it is, all the fruit on the Rancho, and I am so glad that you were here to be along with me today. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you did, hit the share button. Please comment, rate, subscribe. We love having you along on the channel, and it's always our pleasure. Thanks so much for being along. Mwah.